Broker IPTV.
Today we're talking with Arnie Stein, broker associate with Fuller Sotheby's International Realty and head of the Stein team. Welcome, Arnie.
Hey, Dan, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Good having you here. I said you're the head of the Stein team. We see teams in real estate quite a bit now. Talk a little bit about being part of a team, the pluses, the minuses, the challenges.
Right. Well, from my perspective, there are no negatives.
Okay.
The challenges, I think, is to keep everyone on the same page and to keep everyone focused on what the team's goal really is.
I'm a part of a team, as you know, and I think for me, if somebody asked me, I'd say communication.
Right.
Really trying to make sure that we're communicating everything to the entire team that's being said by the buyers and sellers. Are you in that same kind of?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, part of the communication process, and one of the things that I think all of us can do in the business that's absolutely essential, is the feedback part of our business.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. I mean, what do you do to collect your feedback?
Of course, we use the internet to receive our automatic feedback, but the best way is actually to call the broker. And one of the biggest problems with the feedback part of our industry is that we're not placing enough emphasis on really getting quality feedback, because if we get the right information, we will be able to communicate that to the seller and sell the property faster. I'm
in total agreement. I just wrote a newspaper article about that. So personally, how long do you wait after the showing before you pick up the phone? I mean, everybody has their own, different agenda of how they do it. But for you, what do you do?
The best thing to do is to call immediately.
Okay.
So that means the same day, could be the same afternoon, the same morning, whatever. If the showing's at 10, 11 o'clock, you should be on the phone.
Well, that was another question I was going to bring up, because some people are saying, well, I don't know, should you make these calls during business hours and these emails to business hours, or should you wait till later in the evening, or what? Is there a specific time of day, or does it matter?
Waiting doesn't help anyone. I think, as brokers, we see enough properties out there. Sometimes some of the information may slip away from us if we don't speak to someone about it immediately. Therefore, I think immediate feedback is absolutely essential.
All right. Obviously, challenging times for sellers and opportunity for buyers. Challenging times for realtors. If a realtor came up to you and said, Arnie, what do I have to do to be successful in today's economy? What do you say?
I'd say to perform our business properly, which includes being very accurate with your listings. That means communicating the information very accurately. That means taking a lot of pictures, and using the new MLS enhancement 25 picture with caption, and working your tail off, I guess.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, it's networking.
It really is.
And you've heard realtors over the last several months say, well, I'm working twice as hard or 3 times as hard for the same amount of money. Is that just symptomatic of what's going on now in the business?
It seems to be. But, the other part of this is that, that some of our business is getting lost on the weekends. And by that I mean that real estate is a 7-day-a-week business. That doesn't mean you have to work 7 days. It doesn't mean you can't take off a day. But I think it means that you cannot abandon the business on the 7th day, or at least have someone cover it for at least 6 days. So if you're doing REOs, for example, and those are perhaps one of my pet peeves, that oftentimes it's impossible to reach an REO agent over the weekend. We know the banks don't participate, and they, and you can't make an offer on the weekend, or you can't have an offer presented on the weekend. But the point is that someone needs to be available to answer some questions, because we're out with people that maybe need to make a decision that weekend.
Yeah. Banks need to know that people make decisions on off hours.
Right. Well, the brokers do. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Arnie, thanks for being here.
Sure. My pleasure.
Find more real estate videos at brokeriptv.com.